Howdy, boys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Ooh, let's hear those dulcet tones right there.
My radio voice.
What would be your DJ name?
That's
DJ X.
DJ X. I was thinking like
Isn't that the DJ from Parks?
I don't remember him. I
DJ Roomba.
remember DJ Roomba and DJ Blunts. And then I remember like, the NPR DJs. They were my favorites, like Derry Merbles. Yeah, Derry Merbles is who I would really want to be. Font for your font.
I'm seeing Ari Shapiro and Alan Cumming in a couple weeks with Sam.
Ooh, little Howie.
I don't know the second name. I don't think
Alan Cumming.
Maybe I know who he is from. What's he in?
He's in a lot of stuff, but the one I know him the most from is Boris from GoldenEye. I am invincible.
Oh, didn't he just host SNL recently?
Maybe he's done a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. This is something I've seen recently.
Here's your kitty.
Because I was like, I haven't seen that, but I could see how he would be like really good in that role.
He smells the cheese that I have sitting here on the table. He is a dairy fiend.
Cheese tax?
Yeah.
Yeah, my DJ name was DJ Rudy Cakes the one time I was on the radio in Cleveland.
Rudy Cakes, that's good.
Yeah.
Rudy Cakes. What radio were you on?
I did a guest spot with my friend on WRUW, the Case College radio station. So.
Got it. Nice. Very cool.
Fuck off.
You just gotta go.
Tita's gonna be coming after us.
You might as well just house that cheese right now.
Yeah, I know. I can't tell you how often that is a refrain in our house, though, is like, Maki, stop. Maki, fuck off. Maki, stop being a prick. Maki, or just Maki, psst, 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 all the time. He's a great cat, but he's a troublemaker.
He's getting close to 2 now, right?
Not yet. They turned 1 in late February. Okay. So we still got a little ways to go. So they're like 1 in a couple of months, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're still full of piss and vinegar. I mean, every night at about 12:30, 1 a.m. is when they go like the craziest. And
the zoomies? Yeah,
zoomies big time. Nori comes to bed specifically because she loves to attack my feet once I'm under the covers. Yeah. So yeah.
And we got a guest appearance by.
Not really.
Oh, I can turn the camera.
No, you can't.
Oh, okay, I can't turn the camera.
What did she bring you this time?
Brought you some pine nuts in case you want to try.
Asparagus risotto.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that looks real good.
That's better than my cracker and cheese.
Very, 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 very hot. Very hot. So this we'll put this over.
Well, why don't you tell us, Matt, what you're drinking while you're waiting for that to cool?
Well, I decided I went to a nice beer store down on the Maryland-Delaware state line called State Line Liquors. And then April, they have their Belgian beer sale. So I didn't get any huge, crazy bottles, but I got a Lingonberry Lambic.
Ooh, Lingonberry.
From Tilken. So
that's a cool bottle.
Yeah. These guys are pretty sweet. They're in the big 3 of Lambic makers. Well, there's lots of good lambic, but yeah, it's a nice color. It's pretty mild. It's not too sour. It's very tasty.
Who would be? So I assume that it would be Tilken and then 3F, and then who would be the
Cantillon?
Cantillon.
Cantill open.
LLL. Okay, maybe I've seen them before. Okay.
They are very, very, very hard to find.
Okay.
But they are one of the big, really, really well known ones.
Okay, got it. Nice.
Colin, what about you?
I am drinking. Let me get it out. This is from Cousin Greg.
Nice.
I saw him this past Friday. It is called LOPA 5. Not really sure what that stands for. It's from Last Minute Brewing, right outside of Scranton, Scott Township, Pennsylvania. I would venture to say, so this is a triple. Here, I want to show you guys a couple things on Untappd. This is a triple IPA, which we've all talked about pretty recently on a podcast.
Maybe the last one. Yeah,
it's really hard to find a good one and everything. I gave this one a 4.5. It's 9.5 ABV. It is dry hop, hazy, tropical fruit punch, Citra, Southern Passion hops and everything. But I obviously didn't pour my beer out because I just showed it to you. And you can kind of see from some of the Untaps, that's the color.
It looks like orange juice.
Yeah, exactly. And everything, which most of the time when I have a beer that looks like that, it's fucking good. And this one was really good. So I would venture to say, I wrote in my check-in that it's one of the great beers from Northeast Pennsylvania. I'd venture to say it might be the best tasting one I've ever had from an EPA.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic. And it was LOPA 5?
Yeah, LOPA 5 from Last Minute Brewing. Hazy double IPA. That's what, Matt, I see this all the time. I don't know, is Untappd wrong or is the brewery wrong? It says hazy double here, but on Untappd it talks about triple hops and everything. What is that different?
Is it triple dry hopped? Because it could be a triple dry hopped double IPA.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Triple IPA, you usually get into the 10%.
Triple dry hops.
Yeah, you get 10%.
But 9.5 ABV is way up there. That sounds like triple.
Yeah, triple dry hopped.
You got to be careful though when you say Northeast PA because this state is stupid, and there is a town of Northeast PA in the northwest corner of the state.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, it's called Northeast, and it's fucking near Erie.
That's hilarious.
You should on Newswatch 16. There's a segment. My grandparents watch the news, so I've seen the segment several times, and it's called Talk Back. And basically, it's stupid things like that. You could call in and be like, "Why the fuck is this in Western Pennsylvania still considered Northeast Pennsylvania?" That would be something on Talk Back 16.
Nice.
Update. Risotto's very good. It's very hot.
And another update, Oswaldo Cabrera just hit a 2-run homer and the Yankees took a 2-0 lead.
Dinger. What are you drinking, Ethan? I see the mug.
Yes. So I just we have a nice little local grocery store that has a really good selection of local beers, so I just stopped there this afternoon. And I actually picked up one from a Fort Collins brewery, which is one of my favorites that I've tried so far in town. This is the one I actually had Colin. Colin got me a gift card for my birthday or the holiday, something called Purpose Brewing.
Okay.
And
is this the second? Was this the makeup?
Yeah,
brewery?
the makeup one. I actually haven't spent the gift card yet. But yeah. So, and this one is called Arcadian Rhythm, and just a hazy, but it's good. I had it at the brewery, I think, because I had checked it in before, so I must have had it when I went there. But
you get the King Supers?
No. Supers has an okay beer selection, but no, there's this place called
King Supers is Kroger, so
yeah, exactly.
Low expectations for them.
Yeah, but there's this independent grocery store in town called Lucky's Market, and they have an amazing. It's small, but it's really well curated.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to the guy one time, the guy who's in charge of their beer. He has this big old beard and everything. He looks exactly like what you would expect. And we chatted for a couple minutes, but yeah, they always have a really nice selection. They always have a bunch of Knotted Root and Cerebral. They have a few Outer Ranges. They always have a couple of Weld Works.
Good. Good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, by the time we record next, you shall have a box of other half beers as well.
That's right. So, hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah,
they did a school spirit week. So
School Spirit, that was the theme. Yeah, I'm eager to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, boys, I have a question, and you can tell me what you want to do. So I definitely have 2 topics. Well, definitely one that I want to talk about. The other one's kind of a throw up if you guys are interested. But I want to talk about Trout because it's a bummer. And I think there's something really interesting, though, about it. And then I was wondering if, like, we could do this several ways. But one way I was thinking is, like, we could do a snake draft style, like not actually draft, but go through all 30 major league teams and just each person, whoever gets the team, gives their thoughts on, the first month of the season, what's been going on with this team, what they've heard, the buzz, if anything, and whatever, and then move on. Just try to give everybody an update on what's going on in baseball. That's just an idea. You two think about that, but I definitely want to talk about Trout, and I'm open to whatever else you guys want to talk about. Obviously,
you make me nervous because it's busy season, so it's like I haven't watched a whole lot of baseball. Like I just found out today there was a big fight last night.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Brewers Rays of all teams.
Brewers and Rays. What the fuck?
Really? Also, although I will say this, shout out to I don't know if they're a friend of the pod, Laura, but Laura for sending me all the B-Man content that there was in the world today. You hear about this?
No.
Dodgers Diamondbacks. The start of the game was delayed because there was a giant bee swarm on the net.
That kind of bee. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and so there was. I mean, the guy, they let him throw out the first pitch. He was hyping up the crowd.
Yeah.
They brought him in on the little rascal go-kart thing, and he sprayed the bees and sucked them up. And so there was tons and tons of B-Man content, and her thought was basically like, I think she said like, does Rob Manfred still exist? Like, fuck him, make B-Man the commissioner. How could this be any worse?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Good comment.
Yes, I think a B-Man could probably do a better job than Rob Manfred in some cases.
And the fact that they made him available for press box and interviews later in the game, like, hell yeah, B-Man, you live up your spotlight to the fullest.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't think that the B-Man would say that, who cares about the World Series? The trophy is just a hunk of metal,
Yeah. Or that he would blatantly lie to everybody on my birthday on February 15th that the uniforms were okay.
Yeah, right.
And there was nothing wrong with them.
Once people spend some time with him, they're going to really like it. It's going to be really popular. God, he is like such an incompetent fucker. It's unbelievable. But how much does he get paid?
Money.
Like how many millions of dollars does he make every year?
An obscene amount.
I mean, he's not making Goodell levels, which I think is still...
Yeah, what's he like, 50 mil?
More than that, but
with the private jet.
Yeah, 50 mil plus, and that was like a couple.
Really?
Yeah, he makes more than any player in the league, like by a long shot.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
that's so wild.
And he still can't keep himself from fucking up either, like with the Redskins.
Yeah, seriously.
Excuse me, the Commanders. Sorry.
Colin, I'm cool with your ideas. I also am a little bit nervous about that second one, just because even when I am paying a lot of attention, it's hard to know much about certain teams. But we could also just when we get to the Chicago White Sox, for instance, we could just say that they're fucking atrocious. Next, like, I mean, don't really need to.
Well, yeah, and we could do it. We could do it less like draft snaky way and just go team by team, but just know we have to keep it brief, like for the people that or the teams and the players that we do know about, versus and everything. I mean, I have a pretty good general idea, so I could probably fill in the blanks for anything else. But
one quick question that I just thought of, Matt. Your asparagus risotto, is that with vegan cheese?
There's no cheese in it.
Oh, okay. No cheese in it? Is that what you said? Really? I never heard of risotto without cheese.
Risotto.
No, risotto was the cheesiest.
I'm checking right now. I'm consulting the chef.
I
mean, she asked me if I wanted cheese on top, and I said no.
Oh, okay.
I wanted spicy rice.
Yum yum.
Spicy creamy rice.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of spice is it?
I have no idea. It's tasty though.
No. Interesting.
She used a vegetable stock and garlic. Nope, there is no vegan cheese.
Okay.
No cheese at
No
all.
cheese at all.
Yep.
Got some pine nuts here in a little tiny cute bowl. If I want to put some pine nuts on top.
Pine nuts are delicious, yeah.
That's the level of service I got from my wonderful, wonderful partner.
Very impressive. Okay. So it's silent, and I'm like, if I wasn't making noises, it would have just been like 5 seconds of total silence.
You were doing a good job filling the void there.
There's a scene in Angels in the Outfield when the dick broadcaster says to the other guy, he's like, less is more. And he turns off his microphone. I was just about to do that for you.
Oh, funny. That's hilarious. Okay, that's amazing you mentioned that movie because randomly, like, I don't know, a few days ago, and this might have been because Joe Paz in one of his recent pieces referred to the Angels as the California Angels. That might have been the trigger. But what happened was I saw California Angels and I immediately was like transported back to our childhood. And I was thinking, okay.
Sweet unis.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, California Angels. Yeah, you know, it's really evocative. And I was like, oh, yeah, there was that movie that was like all about the California Angels. What was that movie? It took me a second. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, Angels in the Outfield. I like looked it up because I was curious and I was just like wondering about it. And literally, I have not thought of that movie in years. And now you mention it less than a week later from when I had thought about it. It's just so funny how that works sometimes.
When I was down and out last year, we bought it on DVD because it's not streaming anywhere, nowhere.
Really?
Not on Disney Plus.
That's shocking. Okay.
You can't even play it on like Amazon Prime on demand. I couldn't pay to rent it.
It's got Tony Danza in it.
Tony Danza
and Ryan Gosling.
Adrian Brody, Matthew McConaughey, Danny Glover, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I don't.
Christopher Lloyd.
I don't think Gosling's in it. I don't think it's Gosling.
Yeah, I was thinking of McConaughey. Yeah, sorry.
Like, crazy cast though.
Yeah. Holy shit, the cast. Yeah. A young Adrian Brody before anyone knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah.
Great. So Matt, how did it hold up?
Good.
Yeah.
The joke still hit. And then I also forgot that the foster mom was
she's
Pigeon Lady from Home Alone 2. Yeah. And
yep.
I guess she was like a big deal way back in the day, but
really?
Like, oh, she's Pigeon Lady.
Pigeon Lady.
You know what would be? So it would be fun to watch like nostalgic '90s baseball movies. So that would be one because literally the last time I saw it.
Well, so what do we got here? We got Angels in the Outfield. There's the Rookie. There's the Natural. There's the kid or whatever. The kid
what
who
about
gets
Little Big League?
Now hold on. Let me before I say anything. Let me make sure I'm remembering it correctly. Okay. Yeah. I was remembering one correctly. I want to see if either of you mentioned it. Sorry. Continue.
Well, you had to interrupt me for that? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
Sorry.
Now I lost my place. I'm not going to remember anything anymore. No,
how much of that beer did you drink already?
A substantial amount. I was drinking before you got on. That's the difference there. So wait, so there's
the difference.
Field of Dreams, Angels in the Outfield, the Rookie, the Natural, the one with the kid who gets his arm broken and repaired and pitches for the Cubs.
Rookie of the Year.
Major League 2.
Little Big
League.
Bad News
Bears. I'm holding up my hands like you can see them on the camera, but you can't.
Okay, you guys are missing an all-time classic, and maybe I only saw this
Sandlot.
because of
Bull Durham.
Nope. Maybe I'm only missing or maybe I only saw this because of Ryan Judd. So this is in the 90s. Now, I remember liking it as a kid, but I looked it up for the first time in ages. Its Rotten Tomatoes rating is 22%, and its IMDb rating, you know how users can rate out of 10, right? And that's like a really good gauge also. 2.7 on IMDb. That's like really crazy low. In any case, wait, Ed. Did you guys see Ed with Matt LeBlanc?
No, I have never heard of that movie ever.
Matt LeBlanc and the monkey?
LeBlanc. Wow.
Oh my God. Okay.
No.
Never saw
I remember Bernie Mac and Mr. 3000. but I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that, or a bunch of the other movies you mentioned. Even though they're famous, I haven't seen a bunch of those. But Ed, I definitely saw.
Oh wait! You've seen Major League, right?
Yeah, I've seen Major League, but I haven't seen The Natural.
Oh, that's a really good one too.
I know. It's kind of embarrassing that I haven't seen it. I've seen
lightning
Ed,
strikes
but not
a
The
tree, and he makes the bat, and then he gets stabbed on the train or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
he gets stabbed on a train by the crazy lady or something.
Oh yeah.
Which one is that one?
The Natural, right?
That's The Natural.
Yeah, I was actually that's my brain's a little slow today. I was thinking of The Rookie is a really good one.
Yeah, The Rookie's there.
Dennis
A
Quaid.
League of Their Own. Don't forget that
League of
one.
Their Own, of course, classic. Okay, but hold on. So listen though. Listen to this. Listen to this little this blurb here. Okay, so Matt LeBlanc plays Jack Cooper. Jack Cooper could be a world-class baseball pitcher if he didn't keep buckling under the pressure. He tries to keep his spirits up after he's traded to a minor league team, but loses all hope when he discovers that Ed, one of his teammates, is a chimp. Ed used to be the team mascot, but was promoted to third base when the owners realized he had a talent for baseball. As Jack struggles to get used to his new surroundings, Ed helps him regain his confidence on and off the field. So, there you go.
But this is like mid-Friends Matt LeBlanc.
1996.
What is he doing?
Friends was
early
Friends.
Yeah,
early Friends, still.
Because Friends started in 94. So, but yeah. Man, we should watch that.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! There was another one, another baseball movie that I just remembered and then forgot, and it was like an obvious one. Shoot! Damn it!
I mean, the two that we haven't mentioned that I love both of them. One of them I would consider the best baseball movie of all time.
61. I knew it.
Yeah. Benchwarmers.
No,
is fucking hilarious.
That's a baseball movie, Benchwarmers?
Oh, Bull Durham.
I said
mention that.
Bull Durham.
Shoot, sorry.
You were busy trying to count your hands.
You're talking about Rob Schneider and David Spade, that one, Kyle?
Yes, is that what it's called?
Yeah, 2006, The Benchwarmers. Yeah.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson's in it. Like it's obviously very silly. It's a Happy Madison.
Napoleon Dynamite. John Hader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is in there.
Yep. Cast is really good. Yeah. John Lovett's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very weird, but very good.
One that we forgot, For the Love of the Game.
Oh, that's actually probably my favorite baseball movie.
Looks like there's
Ethan knows about. Yes, you do. You know the scene where the Yankees. Yes.
I just pulled it up. And I saw the picture of Kevin Costner in the Tigers uniform.
Yep.
And then that triggered it for me.
It looks like there's one called Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball.
Who's in that?
With Tom Selleck.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know the movie cover.
Yeah, and then it lists on here as well Basketball, although I don't know.
Yeah.
I really want to consider it a baseball movie, but yeah, wow.
Colin, I think I remember generally, but remind me, what was the scene in For the Love of the Game that really drove me insane?
Oh, well, I think there were a lot of things. It is pretty cheesy.
Yeah, there was a lot of things. Yeah.
It was specifically was it the fan that? Yeah.
There's the Yankee fan in the bar with the ex-girlfriend of Kevin Costner. She was like in Scientology in real life. She died a few years ago, like a handful of years ago, I think, from cancer or something like that. But she was like a relatively known actress in her day. Anyway, she's at the bar watching Billy Chapel.
Kelly Preston.
Right. And there's a Yankee fan. The Chapel, Kevin Costner pitches for the Tigers, and he's pitching a perfect game. He's like in his final start of his illustrious, career and everything. And there's a hit like late in the game that goes to the shortstop, and it's a close, bang bang play at second. And the Yankee fan in the bar is like, he was safe, and he's like clearly out and everything. And for whatever reason, like you and Danny thought that was me. as a Yankee fan that I would be that person. Well, I was like, I mean, I'm optimistic, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, you can. Your optimism sometimes pushes over into homerism, and I think that's what Danny and I were thinking of. But I remember it wasn't even just you. I mean, I do remember relating it to you, but also just I remember it reminded me of just kind of all of the most. Not that you're an annoying baseball fan, obviously, but it reminded me of like annoying baseball fans, like all the people like. When we go to live baseball games and we're sitting on like the first or third base lines, and then people will like freak out about ball and strike calls when they have no fucking clue from that angle. And they'll be like, oh, that was a strike. It's like, oh my God. Like that shit drives me insane. And the bar scene just reminded me of those kind of people, you know?
All right. Fair enough.
Oh man. Well, that was
anything else we met, Rudy?
No, I was trying to string together a really bad pun in my mind. So I was going to say sometimes when thinking back, you know, Colin may be blinded by the light when thinking about good old days and his glory days. Nebraska.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
How was the Bruce concert? Tell us about that.
It was good.
I forgot that happened.
I mean,
what's that? That happened. When was this?
Yeah. Saw Bruce at the Dome, first time in Syracuse since 1985.
Wow.
I mean, the set list compared to the show before in Albany and the show after in Columbus is definitely a little underwhelming. However, in the moment, it was amazing. He played a sign request from Greetings called Growing Up. Greetings is his first album. Very rare that he plays much, if anything, besides Spirit in the Night.
Oh, wow. I always thought Greetings from Ashbury Park was his first album.
Yeah, Greetings.
That's
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Right
coincidentally, that's where Blinded from the Light came from. He cut it first, gave it to Manfred Mann or whatever, and they cut it a year or two later. It became a #1 hit.
Wasn't it like Eddie Money or something?
Manfred Mann and the Earth Band.
No, it was like, yeah.
Oh. I hated that song.
Yeah, not Eddie Money. No.
Don't disparage the great name of Eddie Money like that.
Well, I don't like Eddie Money either.
You don't like Eddie Money?
Not really.
Dude, Eddie Money was money.
Yeah.
Come on, how do you not like that?
I'm just...
God.
There are certain songs that we grew up with that were just played all the time on classic rock radio, and I just can't stand any of them or those artists anymore. Colin knows the worst one, maybe my least favorite song of all time.
Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Oh, Jack and Diane.
Yeah, Jack and Diane. Yeah.
Take me home tonight.
Okay.
I don't want to let you. Come on.
That one's actually
Ronnie
not bad.
Spector in there? Come on.
Okay, that one's pretty fun. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Cover your ears, folks.
Oh.
Yeah, a little late.
Oh,
come on. I did not know that Manfred Mann were the ones who did the Blinded by the Light. I always thought it was... Did we talk about this already? I, for the longest time, thought that the lyric was revved up like a douche.
Yes,
we have talked about that?
This.
Okay.
I don't know about on the pod.
Yeah. Obviously, I knew that was not the word, but I could not for the life of me figure out what it was supposed to be. It just sounded, it's like, revved up like a douche, another runner. And I was just like, what is happening, you know? But I just went along with it.
For no other reason than it kind of sounded spacey, I always thought that was ELO.
Oh.
I remember my dad, I remember getting in an argument with my dad about it, and he was just finally like, fine, Matt, it's ELO. And just obviously, I dug in there. And I think it's because that was the artist listed on the track that someone downloaded for me on LimeWire. You know, that bullshit.
Oh, yeah. That happened. Yeah.
So that reminded me, Matt, just you guys, you and your dad arguing. It's really funny. So my dad and I, we had a game basically when I was a kid, when we would be in the car listening to the radio, and I would always try to guess the artist, and we would come up with various little symbols or clues or whatever. And I wish I could remember more of them, but the one that I remember for sure, for the Rolling Stones, if it was ever the Rolling Stones, what we would do is we would just stick our... Now, this won't help for people who are only listening, but we would go like this.
That's a good mix.
Shove our lips out like Jagger, you know? And so anytime a song was on, right, and my dad was like, you know who this is? And if I thought it was the Stones, but I wasn't sure, I would just go stick my lips out at him like that. And that was our code for the Rolling Stones. But You would just imagining you and your dad debating that reminded me. It's pretty funny.
Most of the time, right? Like I would just defer to him, but armed with my bad LimeWire knowledge, I thought I was right.
Right. Yeah.
But like,
and then you probably got a virus on your computer.
No, see, that's the thing. Someone else downloaded it for me, so I never actually had LimeWire or Kazaa on my computer or Netscape. Or not Napster.
Napster, yeah. She was just telling my students about that yesterday. I was telling them because I was talking about actually I did rap and hip hop yesterday. If you can believe it, I gave a lecture on rap and hip hop, and it was really cool. I was joking with my brother that even if my lecture didn't work on the students, it worked on me because I now appreciate rap and hip hop more than I did before. So I at least worked on myself, but. There's an era of it's really interesting. Scholars have divided rap and hip hop into like very specific eras. And 2006 to 2014 is considered the blog era, essentially when things started to go like heavily digital and, buying hard copies of recordings started to kind of go extinct, right? And, part of that, of course, was like in the early 2000s, stuff like LimeWire and Napster. And I was telling them, I was like, I can distinctly remember sitting on like my big fat fucking desktop computer, probably like Windows 98 or something, and like fucking around on LimeWire and like, trying to get music or whatever. And like I can still like picture that shit.
Yeah, I still picture Jeremy on that, like downloading Metallica in the corner while we were like playing stuff on your GameCube in the basement.
Yeah.
Or going to the back room to get some gummy bears or gummies.
Gummies. Yeah. Absolutely.
And like I was only over there a handful of times, but that's what I remember.
Yeah. Colin remembers Orange Buddies.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry if you're listening. Sorry, but I ate them all.
Yeah. Do they still make those? I've like never looked for them. They must still have. Okay.
Yeah, if you go to like the novelty ice cream area in any grocery store, you can find them.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we had some fun detours. Should we talk about Trouty?
Yeah, Mike Trout.
Well, here's what we'll do. We'll just go through all the teams, and when we get to the Angels, we can talk about Trouty too.
Okay.
And everything. So I'm gonna say the team. I got the standings up here. We're gonna go kind of best to worst. So if people want to skip ahead to the end, they can. And everything. But Baltimore Orioles have tied for the best record definitely in the American League and second best record in baseball at 19-10. What do you guys? You got Matt or no? Matt's
Trust the process.
You got it.
Yeah.
You
what do I have to say about the Orioles?
Yeah.
So
what's your observation over the first month?
So it's interesting. I find that I have this tendency. I don't know where it came from, but I want to root for underdogs and I want to root for shitty franchises. Maybe it's because as a Yankee fan my whole life, I feel so like privileged and spoiled that I'm like, I want other
Yankee guilt.
Yeah, Yankee guilt maybe. I want like other franchises and stuff to have success, and I want other fan bases to feel happiness. And so as you guys know, we've talked about this before, and I think we've talked about it on the pod. The whole last few years with the Orioles being up and coming and everything, or the last couple of years, I guess, once we knew their farm system was so good, and then obviously they blew up last year, I've been like really excited because I think that, I think it's good for baseball when the Orioles are good. I think they're like a historic franchise. They have really passionate fan base. I think it's good for baseball when they're good. And so like I'm kind of excited about this, right? Like I look at them and I see all these guys. I see Gunnar and I see like Jordan Westberg and what's his face? Colton Cowser. And Jackson Holliday, even though he had a horrible debut, who else had horrible debuts? Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. Like this shit, Mickey Mantle for that matter. Like this shit, it happens. Like Jackson Holliday is going to be just fine. Grayson Rodriguez, obviously they traded for Corbin Burns. Like it's really, really exciting to see them be so loaded and to be like, okay, the Orioles could be like a legit powerhouse. But then I'm like, wait, they're in our division. Like they're a division rival. I should be hating them. I should not be happy about this. Like from a baseball standpoint, it's kind of cool to see the Orioles really good and to see a team like so stacked. I think they got lucky. Like they hit on all of their high draft picks, like that just does not happen.
100%.
Yeah. Like the Joe Paz wrote about this, Kyle. I'm sure you saw it a month or two ago, because the Tigers have had really similar draft picks since like 2020.
Yeah.
And the Tigers have not had nearly the amount of success with their picks. And that's because baseball, the draft in baseball is way more fickle than any other major sport. And like it is unheard of to have several years in a row where your like first and second round picks are all like legit studs. Like that just does
they
not
should
happen.
have like a John Ryan Murphy mixed in there somewhere, right?
Right.
I think it's a second round draft pick, right? Come on.
Yeah, like that should not happen. So the Orioles have obviously gotten either extraordinarily lucky, or Mike Elias and his staff have like uncovered something that no one else has. I'm inclined to think the former, but in any case, I mean, I think they're for real. I think they're probably gonna run the table this year, which is bad for us, but maybe cool for baseball. I don't know.
What he said.
I'll do all the heavy lifting.
You said brief, so I'm keeping it brief.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't. I guess I wasn't very brief. Well, that was more. I won't have that much to say about every team. The Orioles are just a special case. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're legit. They're gonna contend. Will they run the table? I mean, I don't know. It's so hard for me to evaluate offense based on like the current pitching conditions
And
to
it's
Major
hard
League
to
Baseball.
evaluate based on April too. I think just because April is a slow month.
And so like, I don't want to take too much stock into like the Yankees, for example, having half the amount of shutouts as an offense as the Chicago White Sox, but it's certainly worrisome at the same time.
Yeah.
and everything. And their power seems to have come back. And I'm not going to make this a Yankee part until we get to the Yankees, but like my point is, I don't know, the Orioles, they have a lot of youngsters, so I would imagine that even if they are pretty good, and even if Adley's going to have an MVP type season, like there's going to be some ups and downs, and I think they've shown that already. Even though again they're tied for the best record in baseball, they're not like a true juggernaut like Atlanta and LA yet. The Dodgers, but
they got a chance.
They're close, yeah, and I certainly feel better about them than the Cleveland Guardians, who are the division leaders and tied with the same record going into tonight as Baltimore.
Yeah.
Cleveland, I think, has overperformed probably more than any other team. I mean, their expected win-loss is exactly the same, but like they have every team has injuries, obviously, but I mean they have so many injuries, and the fact that they're hitting for the type of power that they're hitting for right now, when
like all Josh Naylor too, like that's not,
yeah, like how sustainable is that?
Don't forget Stephen Kwan getting on base.
Stephen Kwan is great, but
and any of Josh Naylor's success is negated by Bo Naylor's crap.
What's the deal with Bo Naylor?
He's just not that good at the plate. He's a good catcher, but he's not that good at the plate. So they're brothers from Canada.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the thing you want to keep in mind too with Cleveland is like, okay, well, yeah, Minnesota's on a W-10 right now because they have played the White Sox and then another bottom feeder and then the White Sox again. So they're taking care of business.
Right.
But to get to that W-10 has only gotten them to 17-13 only, I say. But that's a couple games out of the Central. They're a half game out of a wild card, spot right now. I was definitely a little bit more down. I think that they got extremely lucky and did the exact thing they needed to, go on a W-10. I'm going to buy into the Twins stock again and say like they're going to be the ones that run away with the Central Division, not the Guardians.
It's interesting. I was just looking up Naylor because I was curious. I didn't know a ton about his previous career, right? Just know the name vaguely. And this is like his third full season. And, his OPS plus was actually quite good the last 2 years. He played 120 plus games. Seems like maybe he has some trouble staying on the field. He didn't play 130 games or more. But, he's only 26 this year. So it's actually possible that he's having just a legit breakout year. and that he's getting into a prime, and maybe he actually is this good. So
he's a mid-market sabermetrician's gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's nothing special, right? I mean, he looks like me a couple years ago playing baseball. But he gets on base, he plays adequate defense, and hits for power occasionally.
Yeah, and I mean Jose Ramirez has been one of the top 10 players in the game, top 15 players in the game for years now. Probably
but he's like 31, isn't he?
Is he? Okay, maybe the most underrated player in baseball. Yeah. I don't think he's had a great start, but I'm sure that by the time the year is over, I'm sure he will have put up 5 to 7 WAR and have been really good at everything.
Well, that's why I joke with my Cleveland friends they should just build the statue right now. He took a huge hometown discount to stay because he said, I like Cleveland. I don't want to go anywhere. I like playing here. He does a lot in the community. He's very, very, very well loved. Yeah, and he's good for 5 to 7 WAR every year.
Yeah, he's really outstanding. Yeah, so maybe the Guardians just Kyle might be right. It does seem like the Twins are, at least in the last, I don't know, decade or two, the Twins seem to be pretty consistent. But it would be interesting to see the Guardians take it, especially without Bieber, right? Because isn't Bieber out for the year?
Yep.
So that would be really surprising. But Cleveland seems to have this really great reputation now for developing pitching. Yep. So
they have one of the top 5 front offices in the league. They are very well.
Yeah.
There's a reason that the Yankees hired Mr. Blake from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's worked out well.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, leading the West are your never winning ever championship Seattle Mariners. I think the West is obviously the AL West has turned into the shittiest division.
Yeah, it's crazy
in baseball overnight. Which they're on a W3 right now. Houston very well could rip off a bunch more wins and be back into it. You never want to bury them, but at 10-19 and the rest of that division, I mean, I think we all kind of guessed that the Rangers were going to start slow or just kind of hover around 500 because it takes a lot out of you
a little bit.
Yeah, and everything, and they weren't even all that great last year for the regular season. They melted away at the very end, but yeah, I would love the Mariners to run away with this division, but this is probably the shakiest of all of them. I'm like, we could be potting at the end of next month, and Houston could be in first place, and I would not be surprised at all.
Well, the thing with that is, I mean, that's true. Just knowing Houston and knowing that they still have a ton of talent, that's possible. But somebody was posting about this. I don't know if it was Joe Paz or Sarah Langs or somebody, and the worst record to what was it, Kyle? I'm sure one of you, or Kyle, I'm sure you saw it. Matt, you might have too. Something about the worst record ever to still make the playoffs. It was the 2001 A's or something, right?
Yeah, and it was Molly.
Okay, and it was 7-18, and then they ended up being ridiculously good the rest of the year, 93 and 43. Baseball. Yeah, they were obscene. Yeah. Seems unlike, and
they also had, what year was that?
I think it was 01 or 02. Those years that they were really stacked.
Well, 02 was the 20-game winning streak for sure. So that
it could have been that. Yeah.
Either way, I mean that 01 team was nasty. Even though the 2000 team, I mean those Oakland teams were
really
so
good.
They just ran into the Yankees
exactly.
a couple times. And,
but it seems even though the Astros do have all that talent, it seems like we probably shouldn't expect them to go on a run like that. Even with talent, talented teams underperform all the time, like the Padres last year.
Like the Yankees last year. So I would be surprised. If the Astros went on a good enough run that they would. I think they could win the division if everyone else really sucks. But if the Mariners win 90 games, I feel like the Mariners can take it. I don't know. At this point, it seems unlikely to me that the Astros will get there, but to 90 wins, for instance. But maybe they will.
Well, Matt, let me ask you a question, because we are kind of covering all the teams just organically by talking about the top teams. Some of the bottom feeders come in. Can you look up? I want you to look up side by side Alex Bregman's stats as of right now and Gleyber Torres, if you're a podcast fan.
If you're Mike Sure. He's literally the only person who is Gleyber. Everyone else knows it's Gleyber. I don't know why he hasn't fucking fixed that.
They're both pretty. I don't know Bregman's stats. I don't know if they're worse or better than Gleyber's, but they're both having pretty rough starts to the season. If you had to guess, Matt, at this point, based on history, data, your gut, intuition, and everything, who has a better season? They're both free agents. They're both at premium positions, different positions, but they're going to be looked at as maybe the best person at each position this offseason. Who has the better season? Who positions themselves to get the big contract?
I mean, Gleyber should. He's 3 years younger.
Gleyber. Oh, you're fucking with me.
You dick.
Oh, I wasn't looking at him. Okay, I have the Yankee game on mute in the background. I was looking at that. I didn't look at that.
I got some cheese in my hand. The cat was running around.
The cat was running around.
Yeah. No, I mean, Gleyber should. He's three years younger, but they're both. I mean, Gleyber hasn't hit a homer yet, right? Like,
yeah,
he's slugging.
A little scary.
254. At least Bregman's 294, right? Gleyber's OPS plus is 60.
I mean,
that's bad. That's really bad.
I love Gleyber, but he has never been the level of player as Bregman. So I would put money on Bregman in this case.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I'm with Ethan. I think the Yankees.
Is that true though?
Yeah.
Gleyber, even in those like 19.
Yes, Gleyber's best year was like 4 Baseball Reference WAR.
Kyle, 19.
Yeah,
Bregman had 8.9 WAR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
The year before 7.9 WAR.
His defense is probably significantly better than Gleyber's.
His defense and his offense has been. He had 7.9 Baseball Reference WAR in 2018, and then he had 4 WAR at least in 3 other seasons on Baseball Reference. Gleyber has only hit 4 WAR on Baseball Reference, I think, once. Bregman has done it 5 times.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, and you guys know I love Gleyber. I went on a big rant last season, right?
Should have traded him.
I mean, we might have been able to get a lot, but
you can still trade him.
I still think that he is one of the better second basemen in the whole major leagues, not just the American League. I think he's one of the better second basemen, and I think people take him for granted, specifically Yankees fans. I think he's like, that's what I said last time. Now, granted, he doesn't have as many good years as Bregman, but his 162 game average is 3 Baseball Reference WAR. Like, a person who averages 3 WAR, that's like really good.
I'm going to make an unfair comparison here, though. You know who has more? You know what second baseman has more WAR than Gleyber Torres right now?
Andres Jimenez.
DJ LeMahieu.
What do you mean? In his career?
Gleyber has negative 0.1 WAR.
Oh.
DJ has 0.
I see what you're doing. Like how the Rock is having a better year
I was just
than
going to
Jose
say
Abreu.
Rock comparison.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Not the Rock, but a Rock.
Any Rock is way better than Jose Abreu. Also way better than Patrick Corbin, by the way. Patrick Corbin is already at like negative 1.6.
Yeah, that was a good pass on Cashman's part.
Yeah.
Oh
God, what happened to that guy? But in any case, Gleyber's gonna figure it out. He and Juan Soto are best buds. Soto is gonna help Gleyber out, and Gleyber's gonna have another solid year. I just don't think he'll be as good as Bregman.
So you think Bregman's gonna have a better season this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Bregman's just better.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be super worried about both of them, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, horrible start for both. But again, it's April.
Yeah.
Bats can be slow to heat up,
Yeah, I mean, that's devastatingly slow.
That's true. That's true.
That's like Hicks level.
A slugging percentage under 300 is pretty shocking. That's true.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Let's see, what are we at? 49. All right, let's go real quick with the wild card teams, and then we'll hop in the National League. Yankees leading the wild card, 1 game up on the Kansas City Royals. We already talked a little bit about the Yankees. Any other thoughts, worries, concerns? I'm definitely worried about the offense.
I mean, since their hot start, they're playing less than 500 balls. So
yeah,
since they are 7-9 since their 12-3 hot start. So
yeah,
which makes the 12-3 start all the more important.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Juan Soto is he's God, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, he cannot carry this team by himself. So some of the, you know, basically Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, and Glaber, if they end up performing somewhat to their, you know, what we expect, somewhat to expectations, then I think the offense is going to be okay. I think if you have those 5 all having like solid years, then I think the offense is okay. Pitching has been actually, I feel like, has been okay so far.
It's been terrific.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that I expect it to last all year. I am a little bit scared to be going like a whole. I know that they're trying to bring Cole back, and they think it's going to work out. I'm skeptical. You know, elbow injuries. I just feel like it's unlikely. I feel like he's gonna, you know, he'll try to come back, and then something's gonna happen, and they're just gonna be like, oh nope, never mind. He needs surgery. He's out for the year. Right. And the idea of this staff without Cole makes me nervous. Now, Rodon has actually been pitching like what we hoped for so far.
Yeah, he's been great.
So that has been good. But is that going to last? I don't know.
So is Luis Gil.
Yeah, Gil has actually been a little bit of a revelation, but will that last also?
And also, Clark Schmidt is great for the first 18 batters.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, he's been great.
Yeah, that's
until
true.
He pitches
They've been
the
talking
inning.
about that in his last couple starts. Yeah, and his stuff. Coney was talking about it. Maybe you were watching just the like 2 nights ago or whatever it was. Yeah, apparently, you know, because Coney was talking about all his spin rates and shit. Like apparently, Clark Schmidt, his stuff when you do those kind of measurements is like straight up elite. Like
his knuckle curve and his cutter are playing very well.
Yeah, so if he can just figure out how to deal with the third pass through the lineup, like he will be legit, like really good.
No, you need to be the third patch. Just get me through 6 innings. That's all I want. Get
right.
The 6.
Well, but that usually ends up meaning like the third time through the lineup.
It means at least facing the top 3 hitters again.
Yeah, at least then. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the offense definitely is worrisome. That's true. After I was going to text you guys, I didn't end up saying anything, but after the Brewers series where we scored 15 runs in 2 separate games, right? I was like, okay, the bats are awake, we're fine. You know, and then we got shut out last night, right? Or 2 nights ago, whatever it was. And so yeah, it is a little bit concerning. But also again, it's only April. And, you know, we've got James Rowson this year. We've got this new hitting coach, you know, give him time to kind of work with everybody, give people time to heat up. And, you know, I hope that when we have this kind of same conversation in mid-June, you know, hopefully we won't be nearly as worried. Hopefully people will be waking up by then. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, their run differential is not, you know, that far off from some of the league leaders, but again, you're throwing in that 30 runs in 2 games,
right?
To the occasion. Misleading. But again, like, is it a mistake that all of these teams are within, you know, 10 to 20 runs, you know, right now, and it's not super high for? I mean, offense is down. That's why I was saying earlier, I don't know how to evaluate it,
right?
You know, truly, like, I don't know if I'm overreacting because I watch it more. And all the double plays and all the shutouts and everything, but I'm like, this tends to happen every night in Major League Baseball. It seems like, you know, there's shutouts. There's been a lot of sweeps this year. There's been a lot of mops, 4-game sweeps and everything. Like, I don't know if I'm overlooking or overreacting, to that part of everything. But
I thought a 4-game sweep was called the Golden Sombrumo.
Oh, I call it a mop.
That was just a bad joke on my part. Obviously, didn't get any chuckles from either of you.
Well, I know Golden Sombrero for 4 strikeouts.
I put broom in there, and
I get it now. Yeah, I get it now. Yeah.
Someone likes to remind me here, if you have to explain your joke, it's probably not a good one. So.
My boy Juan Soto is batting right now. He has 2 stolen bases tonight.
Ooh,
isn't that wild?
Speedster.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't watching the game. I was working, so I didn't see it, but pretty hilarious. Anyways.
Well, you need to work more. Okay, so we're going to just hit the final 2 wildcard teams right now. We've covered a lot of the American League. Next time we talk, we can cover the National League. There'll be a little bit more time passed, and we can talk about it all. But Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers are the other 2 wildcards from the divisions have flipped. The AL Central was supposed to be what the AL
garbage.
West is right now. And, the AL Central, I mean, the Royals seem legit. Like, they have pitching, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, he's like a superstar.
Sasquatch.
I'm buying, I'm buying them. Detroit, I don't know what to think of them. I picked them to be a breakout team last year, and they were so bad that I'm, like, a little hesitant to do it. But, I just think it's awesome that, the Royals and the Tigers are kind of, there. I mean, the Red Sox and the Twins are right on their heels, half game out. Rangers, game and a half. Oakland, surprisingly, under 500, but only 3.5 out.
Yeah, that's
wild
shocking.
card spot.
I don't know. I feel like as long as Javi Baez is on the Tigers roster, they're not going to be a wild card team this year. Like, holy crap, is that?
Yeah, what happened to him? That's another guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's approaching Rodon in terms of, or not Rodon, excuse me, Rendon. In terms of
Rendon,
in terms of bad signings here, but he's hitting below 200. He strikes out all the time.
Yeah, it's like he
he's
forgot.
Worth right now. Let's see his
he swings at everything.
Yeah,
that's why.
Where's Baez here? 0 WAR. So he's playing replacement level. They're paying $25 million for a replacement level player right now.
How many more years does he have on that deal? It was like an 8-year deal, right?
It was a big one. Let's see. He is signed through 2027.
Jesus.
So 3 more years after this season.
Yeah. It's a little regrettable.
Yeah, jeez. Depressing.
Oops.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Red Sox are a little surprising, I would say, in the same way as the Tigers. I don't know if I really buy it, especially with all their injuries. But I mean, we know how the Sox can get hot. I never want to count them out either.
Yeah, and there's some metrics, people looking at the fact that they're a much better defensive team this year than they have been in a while, and that's driving a lot. So,
I mean, last year's defense was like historically bad.
Yeah,
that was pretty low bar.
You're starting low, but I mean, to me, that's a little bit more sustainable than a hot stretch of pitching or a hot stretch of hitting. Like if they're playing good D, that could keep them around at least for a little bit longer than we think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Randy Rosarina has been, is that how you say his last name? He's been terrible.
Randy Rosaroni.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
He's been terrible for Tampa, and Tampa's been pretty underwhelming for the first time in a while. The White Sox have 6 wins, and 3 of those came against Tampa this past weekend when they swept them.
Woo.
So that tells you all you need to know about them.
Wow.
Thank you, Toddy.
About who?
Hey.
About
hey, Toddy.
About the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, okay. I thought you were with me this last weekend.
I was saying that the White Sox swept the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, it's baseball.
It's baseball, yeah.
Bye.
We already talked about Houston, and that leaves only one team,
Anaheim.
The 11-20 Los Angeles Angels, California Angels of Anaheim, of Los Angeles.
Yep.
Whatever their fucking team name is. Such a Mickey Mouse organization. And anyway, I don't want to get into all that type of stuff, but with Trouty specifically, so for those who don't know, very emotional interview yesterday, and the news broke before that, but Mike Trout is out indefinitely, has to have knee surgery. The Angels said they don't think that it's season ending, but still he's going to miss a big chunk of baseball. And he's got 10 home runs, and the team has 11 wins overall, and it's not pretty in Los Angeles. But one thing that really caught my attention today for the first time was the fact that and Joe Paz, I think, was the one who wrote this. He wrote that for forever moving forward, I think the conversation around Trout is going to end up being not what he was, but what he could have been. And I think that the Mickey Mantle comps had been real for a long time. And I think they continue to be very similar, although, from our knowledge, Trout takes much better care of his body than Mickey ever did, and everything. But the decline that both of them, saw from a very demanding position and the type of bodies that they had, and how powerful and indestructible they once had been, like, it's pretty eerie, and it's pretty sad that. And again, Mickey did this to himself, but that wasn't reported on back in the day. So, people kind of, saw Mantle probably and just saw the decline and were like, oh man, what could have been, and everything. And, he talked about that too. Just wondering what he could have done if he had taken better care of himself. And obviously I'm not here to say that Mike Trout's not taking care of himself, but whatever the fuck he did to the injury gods, man, it is so heartbreaking. And to see, I told you guys, I sent you the presser. It was a little media scrum before the game yesterday. I was only able to listen to like the first 20 seconds because he gets really emotional, and it is heartbreaking because he's so great and he wants to be out there, but he just fucking can't do it. And when he's out there, he's so amazing. This isn't like a Don Mattingly thing where he's like a shell of himself as a player, but how many games do we realistically think he's going to play? Like, is he going to get to even 500 home runs now at this point in his career? Like, what are we talking about at this point? And for him to have the first decade that he did, it just fucking sucks. And it's a bummer. I don't mean to end the podcast on a bummer.
No, I've got two comedic observations. First, number one, I'm going to go back to the Mickey Mouse organization out there. Who would have thought that the days of Joe Madden bringing a freaking ostrich or donkey or whatever into the clubhouse would be viewed as like days of stability, like the good old days of the team competing. Like, And number two, the Angels must have known what was happening, and yet they still DFA'd Aaron Hicks. Like, they knew that the roster spot was probably opening up for Mike Trout to get hurt and go on the 10-day and probably 60-day DL, and they still DFA'd Hicks. So
yeah, they called someone up from AAA, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, that might be the biggest valid dick you've ever had on this podcast.
Fuck no, Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, fuck Hicks, and like, he clearly, because I remember like people last year after his little stint with the Orioles, when he all of a sudden like remembered how to play baseball, were like, oh, okay, Hicks is back or whatever. No, he's not. He got lucky for a couple of months, with the Orioles, but no, he's not any good anymore. And he was never that good in the first place. He had like one good year, and then Cashman gave him that fucking 7-year deal.
Yeah, like, so his plate appearances and is eerily simple. Like 63 plate appearances this year. The Yankees gave him 76 before they decided to get rid of him. Negative 0.6 baseball reference WAR this year. Negative 1.5. Negative 0.5 for the Yankees. So anyway, that's just my. I shouldn't have said. I will redact my fuck Aaron Hicks. I will just say.
What's his WAR?
Negative 0.6.
Oh.
And for the Yankees in the same amount of time, it was negative 0.5. So I will redact my Aaron Hicks because my fuck Aaron Hicks, but I will just give him a resounding because of especially how he left the Yankees and how much he complained and whined. I'm sorry, you've made your millions, go away. The Yankees are still paying him too. So
yeah, right. But no, the Trouty stuff sucks. I mean, at this point, I just sort of expect it. And then sadly, I just get proven right. It's one of those situations, and it's Joe Paz wrote about it this morning. Kyle, did you read his piece from today already? Yeah, and we can go into this more next time because I know we should probably wrap up here. But Joe Paz wrote this really interesting piece about Hall of Famers and especially first ballot Hall of Famers and about durability and how many times. How many seasons people played 140 plus games. And Trouty he's what is he now? Like 33? Yeah, he's only done it 5 times, and he's like 33 years old. He's like our age, and I think he might be slightly younger than us, but regardless, yeah, it's like rough. Now, granted, there could be a miracle. He could have like a really healthy back half of his 30s. You know, it's possible, technically speaking. You know, but yeah, no, it's really sad. And Joe Paz put this other thing in the piece where he showed the 162 game averages through age 33 season, I think, right, Kyle, for Trouty and for Willie Mays. Practically identical. Like, it was insane. Like, these comps of like Trouty to Mantle and Trouty to Mays, I mean, they were like accurate. And when you look at 162 game averages, they're accurate. Like it's legit, you know? So yeah, there's no positive. One thing I want to say really quickly though, what's so wild about baseball, or just I guess the news cycle in general. So I know it's been a few weeks because of our schedules and stuff, you know, it's been like 3 weeks or whatever. Last time we did this, Shohei and the gambling was like everything. And now it's like, you know,
Crickets.
Yeah, now it's crickets. Now it's just like, okay, yeah, they're dealing with it. Shohei's innocent. Ippei is apparently a scumbag, and it's fine, and that's that. You know, just funny how quickly that happened, because for like a couple of weeks there, that was like earth shattering. You know.
Can I be a bit of a valedict for just a second?
Do it. That's your job.
I want to say, I believe, Ethan, one of your biggest pet peeves about baseball managers is how they just give people a nickname with a Y. And you've been calling Mike Trout Trouty this whole time.
Because that's what they call him. That's his nickname. It's
I
terrible.
Mean, they could have called him like Fish, like
athletes. Hey, and you guys are perfect examples of this. Athletes are horribly uncreative when it comes to nicknames. Matt is Rudy, and Colin is Sir Niggs. So it's like, if the last name works well, if it can work with a Y at the end, you do that. If it won't work well with a Y at the end, then you find a place to put an S in. So like, Toddy was Stodds, Colin was Sir Niggs, Matt is Rudy. Like, really,
I feel like Rudy though, it lends itself to more than just athletics. It's just, I don't know, that the brand is bigger than just athletics, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy has like a different vibe, but it also might be partially because of you. I don't know.
Don't let me off the hook like that. Come on, I just was a dick to you. No.
No, I mean, hey, I wish Trout had a better nickname than Trouty. I don't make the fucking decisions. Okay. Aroldis Chapman was Chappie, for fucking Christ's sake.
We can call him something else. He was also the Cuban Missile.
Yeah, but nobody actually like said that in regular conversation. Nobody actually called him that. Nobody said, "Hey, Cuban Missile, what's up, buddy?" They said, "Hey, Chappie." Fucking just terrible.
Come on. Your baseball players are probably more like Johnny Damon than they are like you and me. So
I know, fair enough. So they're cool with it. They're fine with it, you know. Actually, I wonder what Johnny Damon. I wonder what maybe he was like JD or something.
Johnny.
Or just Johnny. Yeah, that was it. Maybe.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Johnny Damon.
The idiot.
The idiot. The king idiot.
King idiot. All right, boys. Well, we did something tonight.
We did something.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was good. As always.
Always a good time.
What shout outs you got?
Ate some risotto. Shout out to Sam for some delicious
Yeah, there you
risotto.
go.
Woo! Get Sam.
It was amazing. I am going to go downstairs and have some more. Maybe I'll even add some cheese. Maybe I will add some cheese.
Yeah, I've never heard of risotto without cheese. Yeah. How do you make it creamy without cheese?
I don't know. She did something.
Yeah, I wonder what she did. Okay.
But like, I don't know. I got some like extra sharp cheddar. I feel like I want to shave on top of that. We'll see.
There you go.
Cracker Barrel, Vermont, extra sharp white.
Hell yeah.
You know it.
Definitely. Jeremy will appreciate that. You know, those Vermonters, they all.
Well, no. Jeremy would appreciate if I said Cabot. Vermont, seriously sharp. Yeah. I got Cracker Barrel because there was a coupon for it. But, I mean,
okay. All right.
Jeremy, when you listen to this, I default to Cabot. The Vermont Hunter's seriously sharp white is my go-to. That is the secret ingredient, and the chicken wing dip. Yeah, I always tell people the sharpest white cheddar you can get, we always use Cabot. So
that's what you put in your chicken wing dip?
Yeah, the sharpest white cheddar you can get.
It is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that was one we would go for. They would do the New York Sharp, which comes in the black, like New York Sharp. You can substitute, but you want the Vermont Seriously Sharp, Hunter Sharp, whatever it's called, with the crosshatch, Hunter jacket pattern on it. Woodland Logger Man pattern.
Some good tips here. This is good.
Anyway,
love it.
Nice.
Ethan, anything?
No. Last week of classes is this week. Tomorrow is my last class, my last lecture. Maybe on a future episode, I'll do a little bit of a rant about my experiences teaching music appreciation at a large state university for the first time ever, because it is a unique experience. But
I wonder if any of your students listen to the podcast. If they do,
well, that's the thing. I'm like, wait, depending on what I said, is there a chance it could come back to bite me? So we'll see. I'll think about what I decide is okay to say or not. But yeah, no specific shout outs here. So
fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Well, shout out brother Jeremy. Shout out to cousin Greg, and
to brother Danny. Brother Danny too, because I didn't realize that he also laughed at Colin with me together about the For Love of the Game. So
we are extra lame.